Hiya, CO2 Umbrella. This is in response to your video, A Conspiracy of Attention. Very interesting. I'd like to offer some reflections about it. It's like you're mentioning about conspiracy theory, and you bring up some interesting points. You mentioned the Anunnaki. Well, I've been doing a bit of research about that lately, actually, because I basically was catapulted into looking into about the elite, the Illuminati, and post 9/11, because before that I'd been aware of that in my researches. You know, Akka, Allah, whatever. Robert Anton Wilson. I even got his book once, borrowed it, you know, the conspiracy theory book. But I've read other books of his, but I couldn't get into it. I just wasn't into it at the time, you know. And also, as you may know, he took a lot of that tongue-in-cheek about conspiracy theories. That's the whole point of his book. But after 9/11, and I didn't go straight into looking at the Illuminati. I was more looking at the official story. You know, I went through weird phases with it. You know, I was shocked, and you won't believe this, but I went through a phase that's very short-lived, where I was actually wanting to see Bush coming on the telly and talk about it. It's really odd, because the whole purpose, what I've learned, the whole purpose of 9/11 and traumas like that is to do exactly that. It's to draw people to the authority. Yeah. It even happened to me, which is unbelievable, you know me, because there's no way in a million years the likes of Bush would, any suits really, would convince me, you know, whatever. But anyway, it was a very, very short phase, but I was aware of it, so I've been aware of this transition, you know, this phase thing I've gone through, you know, post 9/11. And I was like looking at, the official story, and started seeing cracks in it, and started analysing that and alternative news. And then I started getting into looking behind that, you know, the Illuminati, theories about the Illuminati and things like that. It was the London bombings of '77 that got me interested big style in the occultist nature of the Illuminati, which I hadn't known about before. So it's been like this transition, you know. Anyway, like the Anunnaki, okay, it's false. Sitchin, it's based on Zecharia Sitchin's theories, and they've been proven false. So all this reptilian palaver, like David Icke and everything, it's barking up the wrong tree. It's false. And I was never at ease with it before, even before I found out that Sitchin's theories were false. It just didn't gel with me. It was kind of like this demonization. Okay, instead of trying to understand human beings and why human beings will do that, it's kind of like saying, oh, well, they're not really human beings. They are part reptilian, you know, type of thing. But if you study like you mentioned, psychopaths. If you study the mental set of a psychopath, sociopath, very similar to how these tyrants and the lackeys and whatever carry on, you know, Nazi ideology, you name it. This lack of feeling, this lack of empathy for the victims. I mean, can you imagine being part of an part of the decision making that is going to have thousands and thousands of people bombed, women and children bombed, the blood, all the horror of that, and you carry on business as usual. It's beyond a lot of people's comprehension, how people can do that. And a lot of that will be their mental set and the philosophy that they adhere to, right? Which is also a big part of the Illuminati, what they really follow. And to understand that, you've got to start looking at Freemasonry, symbolism, what is behind, what Freemasonry is usually put out is a front for, and looking behind that. And there's ways of studying all this, and you ask something like about the control, why is it with so much money they want to do what they do, and then you sort of you realise that it's the power that they're more into, because you can only, like you say, you can only have so much fucking money, so many billions, can you imagine how much interest that the money they have makes in a second, so it's power, and then you sort of question, you say, but why constant need for control? Is it some kind of a mental thing, Well, yeah, it's because there's some kind of impetus, isn't there, where they need a purpose to justify the sad fucking existences. It's like this need to control. This needs really looking at closely, because it reveals a lot about us as well. It's not just about these tyrants and their lackeys around them. It's about all the people that are complicit with it. It's all the people that carry on living these lifestyle in the system, and put on the news and see people being tortured and kind of put it in the back burner. It's at what register, and do you know what I mean? Hitler's rise to power, it took more than just him and his cronies. It took all these people turning a blind eye to it and waving a flag and not seeing through it and standing up to it. I know a lot of people are frightened, but it's to be aware of that kind of thing. Anyway, so many points, and I always lose track of bloody time because we have this time limit, don't we? And then you go on about, you move on to about viewers, users of YouTube, about attention. Is what the elite do with their shit, can it be considered like attention seeking? Like what goes on here with people wanting subscribers and viewers and getting all upset? And man, if you're upset about your subscribers, man, just take a look how many I've got and that'll cheer you up, yeah? I don't worry about all that at all. Can do sometimes, it depends what mood I'm in. I'm a human, I go up and down, sometimes I can't be bothered with it. But you're right, a big lot of it will be attention, something like 9/11, this big mega thing. There'd be a lot of levels to that, there'd be the need to traumatize people for certain, adhering them to power for occultist purposes, and also for attention, for the very fact that some people will know what they're up to, and the very fact that they can carry it off, the very fact that a lot of people will be paying attention to them via conspiracy theory and so on and so on and so on like that. So yeah, a lot of it will be attention. Yeah, I've run out of things to say at the moment. I've run out of time, so thank you.